Every CFA charter holder has been asked this week to vote on allowing for a new class of membership to the CFA Institute. The Institute is literally considering a new class of candidate or person that could be considered a part of the CFA Institute without actually passing all 3 of the exams and becoming a charter holder. And because of this, a battle is erupting amongst some finance professionals and the CFA Institute. All members have until Thursday night, that is tonight, to vote on 11 new proposals that would amend the Institute's constitution. Thousands and thousands of members are planning to vote against some or all of these proposals, mostly just in protest of one of the proposals that would allow for a new class of member. They argue that this would potentially open the door to new members who haven't even sat for a single CFA exam, which of course would make the credential less valuable and diminish the importance of the CFA designation in the finance industry. The Institute has responded to those claims, saying that there is no plan for a new class of membership yet. And personally, that "yet" word is what really concerns me. Of course, if one of the proposals allows for this type of action, they want it there for a reason. They would utilize that availability of action at some point in the future. Listen to the direct quote from the Institute about why they would want to do something like this. I really did not like how this sounds. They said that the CFA Institute has many constituents, including hundreds of thousands of candidates who take our exams every year but who do not qualify for membership either because they have not yet passed all 3 levels or because they don't have the required work experience. The fact that he specifically calls out people who have failed the exams means to me that they're thinking about some qualification or classification for anyone who registers for a single test, and I don't like that idea. What that can do is literally make the goal just participating, and participating something should never be the goal. It should be accomplishing what that program sets out for. So the quote continues here. They say that this proposal simply acknowledges the reality of who we serve today, which represents a footprint that is considerably larger than our core charter holder base. And then he says that don't worry, full members will remain the only class of charter holder that can vote. They're like, wow, there's 1 million people who have failed a CFA exam, which is probably pretty close to true. We want to identify those people who have done this for whatever reason, and so they want to pass some proposal that could give these people a title? I just don't get it. Now, the annual meeting of CFA charter holders is rarely a controversial event, but this year it sounds like it was very interesting. Representatives from more than 160 different CFA societies globally showed up to protest these new proposals that the Institute was trying to pass. And they're publicly recommending that all of their peers vote against these proposals being added. Specifically, 3 of the 11 proposals are what would allow the Institute the type of power to add a new class of membership, so of course they're recommending voting no against all of those. As a charter holder myself, I was given the proxy votes for this upcoming annual meeting, and just reading through them before this was even a public controversy, I think I voted no to 6 of the 11 proposals, which usually is not my personality. I'm type of the guy to just say, yeah, go ahead, sure, let's move things along. But in reading through either 5 or 6 of those 11 proposals, I was a little bit surprised by what it sounded like the Institute was trying to do there, and I didn't like it, so I voted no. Sure enough, 3 of those 5 or 6 proposals that I voted no for are the 3 that these 160 global societies are recommending that everyone else vote against too. And according to one article online, it was said that a lot of these societies were emailing all of their members, encouraging them to vote against the proposals that the overarching governing body was presenting to them, which is kind of an odd situation. That's exactly why this is being called the battle between CFA members, constituents, societies against the governing body. I'm going to read one email specifically that got a lot of traction online. It was sent by the CFA Society of Spokane, Washington. It reads that, "We believe some of these proposals, if enacted, would harm all societies around the world, but would most negatively impact smaller societies which operate less independently, such as the CFA Society in Spokane." I don't get the logic there, so if you understand why a new class of member would disproportionately hurt small societies, please drop it in the comments down below. And maybe even more substantial, one former CEO of a CFA society has been pretty outspoken about the fact that he's voting no against all of the proposals in the upcoming proxy. He says that the Institute is not being specific around what this additional flexibility would materialize to, and so he's going to vote no. We want to know why they would want to do something before we give them the go-ahead to do that thing. Kind of like when you're 13 years old and you tell your parents you want to go hang out with a girl for the first time. They want to know what's going on before they give you the thumbs up or thumbs down. Who's the girl? Where are you going? What are you interested in doing when you're hanging out with this person, right? To all of these comments, the Institute pretty much responded and just kept saying things like, We're not diminishing the value of anyone's membership. We just want flexibility in the future, blah, blah, blah. Very general information, not answering the questions that these people are raising. I later saw a comment on Twitter from a guy, he's a chief investment officer of, looks like a middle-sized investment management group in the United States. He's been a charter holder for 20 plus years. He was voicing his opinions on Twitter, telling all charter holders to seriously consider the implications of what some of these proposals they're voting on would mean. Basically telling them he doesn't like what these proposals could end up being, and you should probably vote no too. Finally, one of the most harsh quotes I saw about this whole battle was from an ex-executive at the CFA Institute. This person said that the focus on this proxy vote might be a very convenient distraction and a getaway card for the Institute and its fundamentally weak governance. That's a big statement. That person is implying that the Institute is intentionally doing something controversial to draw attention so that people won't notice other things that they're doing implicitly wrong to manage their organization. That sparks a few questions in my mind, like what are the other things that this person thinks the Institute is trying to hide or draw our attention away from? And what about the Institute's government is so weak? Personally, I've never really felt like they're weak in their governing. Some of the decisions have been questionable, but I would like to talk with the ex-executive of the Institute who made that quote and get a little bit more detail. So Lutfi Siddiqui, if you're watching this video, send me an email. My address is in the channel bio, thanks. The chair of the CFA Institute responded to that person as well. There's a lot of back and forth going on here, I'm sure you see by now, and said that they strongly disagree with the assertion that the CFA Institute brand is being de-emphasized. It's an invaluable brand, our most valuable in fact, and one that we've carefully nurtured for the past 75 years and will continue to do so. Odd that that person said it's our most valuable brand. What are the other brands? I know they have the ESG certificate. What are the other types of membership or certificates that they would want to issue in the future? I'm intentionally posting this video onto my channel after the proxy vote has ended because I think you can tell by my tone here that I'm not in favor of the proposals that would allow the Institute to do this thing that they're trying to do, but I don't necessarily want to try to sway the opinion of 5,000 or 10,000, or if you like this video, 1 million charter holders who might end up watching this. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Just because I feel like people should think independently about things, that especially things that they're voting on. Me telling everyone my opinion right ahead of an important proxy vote would be just like what the media outlets in the United States do, you know, pushing their own propaganda for one political party or the other right before the election, and I hate that type of stuff. I'm always complaining against it, so I did not want to do the same thing on my YouTube channel here. It's going to be very interesting to see the result of this proxy vote. I'm sure it will be the most watched publishing of proxy vote results from any annual meeting in the CFA Institute's history, and I'm a little bit nervous to see if these things pass. I don't necessarily want new classes of members coming in from all over the place just so the Institute can kind of, you know, expand their fingers. I really like the idea of having a very difficult, very rigorous, stringent, by the book classification of charter holder like we have right now. Thank you for sticking around for the whole video. If you could, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, drop a comment and just let me know you got around to the end. I'd like to personally thank you. It helps out the YouTube algorithm. As always, thanks for watching.